Hey guys, it's Nick. I've got another video coming for you today. It's back day. Or, my bad, not back day, it's chest day. So today we focused on power and hypertrophy again, just like we did in our back day workout yesterday. And we started off with our warm-up with just the bar. We worked the 5-5-3-3-1-1 65, 75, 85% rep scheme for this as well. And we also warmed up with a 45 on the bar by itself. And for Cade, it was a little bit more than a warm-up, but he still wanted to go ahead and do it. And after this workout, actually, I ran into my coach. He's Coach Don, or Coach Pitbull. He goes by Pitbull. He absolutely destroyed our whole workout. He picked apart every single thing that we did wrong with bench. But this is my first working set of 5 reps. It was at 200 pounds, 205 pounds. But yeah, he told us literally everything that we were doing wrong, and it was just about everything. But this is Cade's first working set as well at 135. Or 145, we were using a 55-pound bar. So actually I was doing 215. This is my second set of 215. And he told us everything down to the fact that we were breathing wrong. So he told us we had to learn how to breathe properly, and it would help us lift better, because if we breathe properly it would fix our posture, and posture helps you lift heavier. He's a very accredited man, very respectable, very strict teacher. But yeah, Cade was struggling a little at this point. He was having some shoulder trouble. He was having fun with it. And it was just Cade and I today. My bad with that too. John didn't come. He had other obligations. This is my third working set, 225 for 235 for 3 reps. This also came pretty easily to me. Moved very smoothly by itself. I didn't really have to struggle much with it. Cade moved up to 165. Was struggling with that a little bit. He really started bouncing it off of his chest, and that's where he failed out actually. And I had to spot him after that. But my necklace flipped around and got stuck in a little latch on the bench and started choking me, so I had to completely start this set over. It wasn't enjoyable, but I got a good laugh out of it. I'm wearing the Frieza shirt. This isn't even my final form. It speaks for itself. But this working set also wasn't all that hard. It felt pretty light to me. And if you guys haven't noticed by now, on all of my powerlifting movements, I have very long setups that seem a little extra, but for me, that's just the way things are. It's the placebo I've got now. And this was my 4th working set. I did 285 pounds. Felt nice, felt nice, but watching it, I didn't really move it all that well. Put my elbow sleeves on also because I started feeling a little bit of pain from an old injury. I did 285 again, but this was just a bad luck day for me. My belt popped loose and I had to reset it. And whenever I lift heavy, I either listen to heavy metal or 6ix9ine. He's like one of my favorite rappers to lift to because he just gets you into that hyped up mode. And also discovered that I don't really use that much leg drive. I just clench my butt cheeks and think that that's leg drive, but I've never actually pressed with my legs like I thought. That was something I've got to fix. Then we moved on to an incline dumbbell press, and I worked at 70 pounds for my first weight. You'll see a little bit later in the video that I tried to do 120 and failed at those. Cade started at either 40 or 50 pounds, but that was coming along pretty smoothly for him as well. He's moving his feet a little bit too much. That's one of those signs of the leg drive issue. But he seemed to be working with that well. Moved up to 90 pounds for my second set, and those still felt pretty light, which was what inclined me to go for 120 pounds without, well actually my plan was to go up to 110, but someone broke our 110s and we only had one, so tried to go up to 120 instead and was not able to move it at all. I think if I would have been able to get it above parallel, I probably could have gotten a few reps with it, but it's just that very first push off with it that I couldn't get. Cade went for 50 pounds again, still moving it very nicely. You can really tell that he's got a lot of that definition. Like I've said in other videos, he has a lot of potential to do men's physique if he chooses to do that. Then I finally took off my overshirt and had on a blue tank top. This is when I tried the 120s and failed it. I didn't move it at all, so I just cut the video and moved on to my next set. That was as far as I got, and that's when we brought it back to 100 pounds. Went up 10 pounds to 100 instead of doing 90 again, and was able to move 100 fairly well. Just always that very first rep that gets me. But after that, it looked pretty good. I wasn't going down as low as I should have. Should have been going down about another inch or so to get that 90 degree, but I didn't really quite make it. I was kind of a little fatigued after that, so I just threw it down. I think this is when Cade moved up to 55s, and he was working with those well also. Going very deep, good stretch on it. Maybe a little bit too much to where it kind of started using his anterior delt instead of just his pecs. But he failed out at that too. Then we moved on to a decline bench press machine. And my first set was one plate for 20 reps. Felt pretty good. Wasn't much difficulty at all. It still just felt like there was nothing there. Cade also started with one plate on this. It seemed to be going pretty well for him. He's having a little bit more trouble than I was. Then I moved up to 2 plates, still moving that fairly easily, moving it for taking a set of 15 reps. Cade moved up to plate and a quarter. He was moving it pretty well at first, but then his left shoulder started to give, and I had to go spot him after that. I moved up to 3 plates for a set of 10, I believe. It felt nice, but I could really feel the fatigue starting to set in at this point. We're, an hour and 15 minutes into our workout. Moved up to 4 plates for a set of 6. This was where I was dead at this point. I was just pushing as hard as I could to get it up. Then Cade gave one more set of plate and a quarter towards the end without spot. You can really tell he's starting to feel it in that left shoulder. You can see it kind of protruding out and giving up more than the other is. At this point, Cade wanted to incorporate dumbbell flies, and we do cable flies regularly. We're going to do cable flies after this, but I figured we should go ahead and give it a shot, see how it feels. And personally, I'm I prefer the cable flies because I feel it more in my chest. I feel more burning sensation, more like I'm building something. But this was a nice movement as well. I think Cade worked around 30s the whole time.
I think 8 is good.
And he was working pretty well with those, but you can still see the fatigue and that left shoulder trying to give out on him again. And I started it with 45s, and I think I could have gone a little bit deeper in the bottom of it, but I think I was doing pretty well overall. It's right here that you can kind of really see just how overly dominant my anterior delts are, because I've trained those so much in the past. I've always had a lot of self-confidence issues about my shoulders because that was at one point my weakest body part. There were no shoulders, they were non-existent. So I spent a long time overly focusing on them. Okay, he's doing well again, just like I've been saying the whole video, that fatigue and left shoulder. Then over there in the white shirt, the very large man, that's my friend Chris. He's very, very strong. He easily benches 650, 700 pounds, squats the same, deadlifts about 500, 600. Very strong man. And, we call him Buff Santa Claus. But worked 50 pounds this time, still felt pretty good, but I didn't really want to push it because I knew I'm starting to feel that fatigue and I didn't want to accidentally tear something. Cade's working with the 30s again, and really his only problem today was that left shoulders. You can clearly see it's kind of lagging behind the right one. But he kept pushing through and kept banging out the reps, so it all worked out in the end. We had one more set that I did for another good few, I think 10 or 12 reps. Felt pretty good still. I was really feeling the fatigue at this point as well. You see Chris walk in and out of the video again, but it's okay, he's a pretty big man. Then after that we moved on, like I said earlier, to cable flies, which personally that's one of my favorite exercises. I feel so much burn with it, so much of that straining and constraint. It's one of the best movements in my opinion to build chest muscle. And I like to go high reps on it, but at the end I also go heavier. I started at 50 pounds for 20 reps. Then on my second set I'll move down to 15. On my third set I'll move to 10. And Cade did a little bit more of a lighter weight with longer reps, because that's what works better for him. And at this point he's still not completely fatigued yet, but by his last set you can tell that things are starting to slow down for him. It's my second set at 80 pounds. It's another good set. This 15 felt really nice, felt a lot of constraint. This Cade's next set, he also moved up, I think moved up to 40 pounds. Still with those longer reps to what he felt was more his beneficiary to his muscular build. And then here I am on my last set at 110 pounds. It was really difficult to pull it, but for me, I think it helps a lot with being able to bench better. So I like to go heavy on my last set. Really strain myself to get that weight.
Come on.
Right there, almost didn't make it. This is Cade's last set. The video is about to be over. I'm gonna cut to my cheat day meal with my girlfriend at the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video, and here we are, we're about to cut over to dinner.
Get to YouTube earlier.
We can start playing around with that.
Having a cheeseburger and sweet tea on my cheat day. This hoe has meat and cheese and macaroni and cheese and more cheese and meat. Like, this is the perfect cheat day meal. Honestly, she makes it perfect too.
I always have my hair's like this. I don't like it like that.